In 2009, a small family-run pawn shop in Las Vegas transformed into a tourist attraction with over 1,000 visitors daily. What caused this unexpected success? The reality show Pawn Stars, a phenomenon that has endured for more than a decade. Today, we'll look at the rise of the Harrison family, the tragic loss of the old man, Chumlee's legal troubles, and Corey's dramatic transformation. What's the true cost of fame for the main protagonists of one of the most successful reality shows on the History Channel? Rick Harrison. The show introduces Rick as an expert in history and antiques, but few know that behind the successful businessman is a person who never finished high school. When he left the education system in 10th grade, he set out on his own path. One that began somewhat controversially with selling fake Gucci designer handbags. Who would have guessed then how far he'd go? Behind his ability to identify valuable items is a natural talent that earned him the nickname the Spotter from his father. This gift to quickly and accurately recognize the value of almost anything became the cornerstone of his success in the pawn business. When you see Rick laughing on TV today upon hearing an inflated price, it's not just a pose for the cameras. He's been using this laugh as a negotiation tactic for many years before the show began. The paradox remains that a man without formal education can now confidently discuss historical artifacts, antiques, or rare coins with academics and experts. His knowledge is the result of a lifelong passion and self-study, not a university degree. Corey Big Hoss Harrison. While Rick gained his knowledge through self-study, his son Corey had to go through a completely different trial by fire. Who would have expected that the future heir to the Harrison dynasty would one day run out of the shop with a gun in hand, chasing after a troublesome customer? This incident from 2009 quickly went viral on YouTube and attracted attention not only from the public, but paradoxically from HBO itself. In the shadow of his father and grandfather, Corey never had it easy. Sparks often flew among the family trio, which the reality show cameras love to capture. Despite these conflicts, Big Hoss proved that he has a business mind and the ability to effectively manage the pawn shop employees. What many viewers don't see is Corey's daily struggle for respect. It wasn't enough for him to be Rick's son. He had to prove that he has his own judgment and abilities. This struggle for identity in the family business isn't just television dramatization, but a real challenge faced by children of entrepreneurs worldwide. Straightforwardness and determination are qualities that Corey inherited in full measure. These character traits are key to the pawn shop's operation, but also often lead to work conflicts within the family. Austin Chumlee Russell. While conflicts in the Harrison family attract viewers' attention, it's the outsider who has become the true face of the entire show. Austin Chumlee Russell isn't part of the Harrison dynasty, but he got into the pawn shop thanks to a long-standing friendship with Corey that dates back to their childhood years. His characteristic nickname has a surprising origin. Friends in childhood compared him to a walrus character named Chumlee from the animated series Tennessee Tuxedo. This comparison stuck and became an integral part of his identity, both on and off screen. Although he's often portrayed as incompetent and lazy on the show, the reality is quite different. Chumlee is actually in charge of key aspects of the pawn shop's operations. He works at the cash register and is in direct contact with customers. "I'm much smarter than people think," Chumlee himself stated, and the show's producers admit that his stupidity is largely just an act. This discrepancy between his television personality and actual abilities is intentional. Every successful reality show needs a comic character to lighten the tension, and Chumlee fulfills this role perfectly. His ability to surprise other cast members with his knowledge and skills further suggests that his TV persona isn't entirely authentic. Richard the Old Man Harrison. Behind Chumlee's comic character in Pawn Stars lies a completely different story, the story of Richard the Old Man Harrison, the man who laid the solid foundation for the entire family empire. His icy gaze and unmistakable sailor's cap became symbols of authority and discipline that were absolutely crucial to the pawn shop's success. What viewers often don't understand is the dual nature of Richard's personality. Behind his stern mask lay an unexpected passion for history. Pawn shop employees often tell how he could light up like a kid at Christmas when looking at a truly rare item. This genuine joy in discovering historical artifacts was the driving force behind his passion for the pawn business. His work ethic is legendary. He would come to work at 4:30 in the morning for decades before the show gained worldwide popularity. Since 1994, he hadn't taken a single day off due to illness. This extraordinary dedication to the business set the bar for the entire family. His strictness wasn't just a mask for the cameras. While maintaining iron discipline, he could show unexpected generosity towards customers who truly needed help. It was this combination of toughness and compassion that created a unique character who gave the pawn shop a soul that attracted viewers worldwide. Rejected HBO concept. You might have thought that the pawn shop was always the family show we know today. The truth, however, is much darker. Before Rick Harrison appeared on the History Channel, HBO had a completely different plan. The television giant wanted to create a gritty, raw series about the dark underworld of the pawn business. HBO tempted Rick with a concept that would depict the real shady side of his profession. From dubious transactions through stolen goods to confrontations with problematic customers. The producers were convinced that viewers would appreciate an unfiltered look at this world. Imagine something between The Sopranos and a real pawn shop, uncensored and without embellishment. However, Rick had a different vision. He feared that such a show could irreparably damage the reputation of his business, which he had built for decades. In 2008, he therefore rejected HBO's tempting offer and instead decided to collaborate with the History Channel, which promised a more realistic but much less controversial approach. Instead of a scandalous series full of criminal elements, a show focused on historical artifacts, family relationships, and business skills was created. Imagine what the alternative version would look like. No joking between Rick and Corey, no Chumlee's awkward moments, just the harsh world of illegal transactions. The reality of the pawn shop business. Behind the generosity at Gold and Silver Pawn Shop lies a sharp edge, especially when it comes to the authenticity of items. The world of counterfeits presents a constant threat that could ruin even such an experienced business. A single mistake in assessing authenticity can cause financial loss and damage the reputation that the Harrison family has built over decades. It's no wonder that a thorough verification process takes place behind the scenes of the pawn shop. Rick can't afford to rely solely on his own judgment, no matter how experienced he is. That's why the pawn shop maintains an extensive network of experts from various fields. These specialists bring expertise in areas ranging from art to historical artifacts to sports memorabilia. This collaboration with experts is a key part of the pawn shop's business strategy. Not only does it help prevent costly mistakes, but it also ensures trust between sellers and buyers. In a business where every item is unique and price is subjective, this trust is irreplaceable. When sellers come in with their treasures, they are often surprised by the true value. Rick reminds them of a fundamental truth. An item is only worth what someone is willing to pay for it. This principle, along with careful consideration of risks, forms the basis of every purchase decision. Corey's dramatic transformation. Sometimes the most valuable treasure a person owns is their own health. A lesson Corey Harrison had to learn the hard way. What makes a young man at the height of TV fame undergo a drastic procedure that will forever change his life? Weighing nearly 400 pounds and being diagnosed with prediabetes were clear signals that this wasn't about aesthetics, but survival. Corey's decision to undergo gastric surgery proved to be a turning point in his life. The success was immediate and stunning. He lost an incredible 50 pounds in the first 6 weeks. Corey himself described it aptly. It's like someone took a backpack full of rocks off you. The overall transformation was fascinating. Over the course of a year, his weight decreased by almost 200 pounds. Observant viewers noticed this dramatic change between seasons, but few knew the real story behind this transformation. It wasn't a chase for a better appearance, but a fight for his own life. Corey's success had an unexpected side effect. It inspired his longtime friend Chumlee to take a similar journey. He too decided to improve his lifestyle and gradually lost nearly 100 pounds, confirming the strength of their friendship and mutual support. When Corey almost left the family business. Behind the scenes of the successful show, a much more dramatic story was unfolding than the one viewers saw on their screens. How close was Corey really to giving up his place in the Harrison dynasty and starting a competing pawn shop? Tension between father and son escalated during the filming of the 6th season. While the cameras captured routine transactions and historical curiosities, a power struggle was taking place behind the scenes. Corey, despite his significant contribution to the business, felt frustrated by his limited influence on the company's strategic decisions. The situation reached a critical point when Corey threatened his father with creating his own competing business. This wasn't an empty tactical threat. Corey was serious. Rick quickly understood that this wasn't just a typical family dispute. Losing his son would mean not only personal failure, but also a business risk. Corey was a key figure for the show's younger audience. The solution came in the form of a business compromise. Rick opened the books and offered his son a larger ownership stake in the business, providing Corey not only with financial satisfaction, but more importantly, greater decision-making powers. Chumlee, hidden genius. When you imagine the smartest businessman from the world of Pawn Stars, who comes to mind? Probably not Chumlee, and that's his greatest trick. The seemingly clumsy shop assistant has built a business empire off-camera that many viewers have no idea about. Austin Russell may play the role of comic relief in the popular reality show, but his business activities reveal extraordinary business intelligence. Behind the scenes of the show, Chumlee prudently built his own company, focused on selling souvenirs and promotional items. This move allowed him to capitalize on his TV popularity in a way that few would expect from his television persona. But his entrepreneurial activities don't end there. He strategically opened a candy shop directly across from the pawn shop, which quickly became a favorite stop for tourists heading to the famous store. This business move is a demonstration of his ability to recognize opportunity and turn his media presence into a lucrative side business. Most impressive, however, is Chumlee's ability to monetize his fame through personal appearances. He can earn amounts in a single evening that show how perfectly he has managed to use his TV popularity to build a personal brand with multiple income streams. Behind the scenes of filming. While Chumlee managed to turn his TV fame into thriving businesses, the show itself operates on the principle of a carefully constructed illusion. Do you think those spontaneous encounters and random deals you see in each episode actually happen as you watch them? Behind that apparent improvisation lies a sophisticated production system. Those random people browsing goods in the background, they're actually hired extras who have been instructed to move around the shop and create the appearance of a busy environment. This trick is common practice in reality TV shows, but few realize it when watching. A transaction that looks like a 5-minute affair on your screen can actually take several hours of filming. The crew needs to capture various angles, several versions of negotiations, and ensure enough material for editing. And those experts who happen to appear at just the right moment, they're actually waiting around the corner, ready to enter the scene at the director's cue. They are pre-arranged and available on set to provide their expert assessment whenever needed. Chumlee's controversy and job security. Behind the scenes of the perfectly orchestrated show Pawn Stars, a real drama unfolded in 2016 that no script could have predicted. A police raid on Austin Chumlee Russell's house was initially related to a sexual assault investigation, but brought unexpected discoveries. Officers found an arsenal of weapons, a gallon-sized plastic bag of marijuana, and other drugs, including anxiety medication and methamphetamine. While Chumlee was not charged with the original sexual assault suspicion, he faced several serious charges related to the items found. The legal consequences could have been devastating. To avoid a lengthy stint behind bars, Chumlee agreed to a deal with the prosecution. He pleaded guilty in exchange for 3 years of probation, which lasted until 2019, and the obligation to undergo drug counseling. Many fans were surprised that Rick Harrison didn't fire Chumlee after this affair. The reason is simple. Chumlee isn't just an employee, but a valuable asset to the entire show. His comedic persona and popularity among viewers make him an irreplaceable part of the format that generates viewership. The legacy of the old man, from sailor to legend. Did you know that before Richard Harrison was dishing out useless chatter on the TV show, he served 20 years in the US Navy? The discipline we know from the screens wasn't a producer's invention. It was the result of the real life of a man who started his business with just $10,000 in his pocket. His entrepreneurial journey began in 1989, when he and Rick obtained a pawn shop license in Las Vegas, after the city reached the required threshold of 250,000 residents. By 2005, their business was lending over $3 million annually, demonstrating the rapid growth and success of the venture. In June 2018, Richard Harrison passed away at the age of 77 after battling Parkinson's disease. Rick announced the news on Instagram, stating that his father was surrounded by his loved ones in his final moments. The loss of the old man deeply affected not only his family, but also the entire gold and silver pawn shop team. Rick took time away from the business to cope with the loss of his father. Show producers noted that cast members never let fame go to their heads and still showed up to work every day. The series continued, with the 16th season premiering in 2019 in a new hour-long format. Lasting success and impact of the show. A small family business became a worldwide sensation, but few know that this transformation required expanding the original showroom to 15,000 square feet. What happens when you practically have to adapt overnight to an influx of 4,000 daily visitors? While the Harrisons continued to diligently go to work, their pawn shop transformed literally before their eyes. Imagine a store that was visited by less than 100 customers a day, and which suddenly has to deal with thousands of visitors. This massive increase in popularity required not only physical enlargement of the space, but also hiring more than 30 new employees. Although the show continued, at one point its fate hung by a thread. After his father's death, Rick seriously considered ending the entire project. He eventually decided to continue, convinced that the old man would have wanted it. The success of the show, with more than 500 episodes and global reach, exceeded all expectations. The pawn shop started as a regular family business, gradually evolving into a tourist attraction with its own merchandise and souvenirs. The success of the pawn shop exceeded all expectations. From a small family business, it became a global phenomenon that has gone down in history as one of the most successful reality shows of all time. The impact on the establishment itself was staggering. From a store with a few dozen customers a day, it became a place where over 1,000 visitors flock every day. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to watch more videos we've prepared for you, click on one of them on the screen or visit our channel. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell. It helps us a lot and means a great deal to us. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time.